I'm sharing with you my fixer-upper style dollhouse makeover. I'm channeling my inner Joanna Gaines with this project and I hope you like it. It was a hand-me-down dollhouse that had seen better days until I got my hands on it. I went with a modern farmhouse look with the renovations and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I went in a little naive with the transformation of the doll's house as I hadn't worked on anything like that before. I didn't realise how fiddly it was going to be and how much more work it is than just painting a wall in a house. I had to get out little paint brushes, I had to cut in flooring. It was just extremely fiddly, but I think the end result was amazing. I really did enjoy transforming this dollhouse. It felt like my own little fixer-upper house. And as I said, I was channeling my inner Joanna Gaines and I think I succeeded. Are you keen to see the transformation? I really hope so. Let's get into it. This is the dollhouse before. It was just a run-of-the-mill toy store dollhouse with bright furniture, bright interior, but we wanted to change that into something more muted tonings and give it more of a farmhouse style. While the colours weren't to our taste, the doll's house definitely had great bones and I couldn't wait to get my hands onto it. First step was to give it a completely good wipe over using sugar soap. This included the inside and the outside of the doll's house as we would be painting it, and any dirt or dust would ruin the paint job and the paint wouldn't stick properly. I also removed any loose stickers that were on the roof as this would stop the paint from sticking. I then proceeded to give all the wood areas on the balustrading and around the edges of the dollhouse a good sand with 120 grit sandpaper. I then used ESP on the outside and the inside of the dollhouse in preparation for painting. Quick update on the doll's house. So I've put it down in my spray booth down in the shed because the next step was to put the undercoat and top coat on it. I've also started painting the fretwork with a dark charcoal grey. I'll just show you where I'm up to with it, just so you can get an idea. So this is what the doll's house currently looks like. I've done 3 coats of Vivid White by Dulux using my spray gun here. As you can see, I pop it in to this spray gun and it just sprays it out really evenly over the walls and the floor, and it just gives it a really nice finish. I prefer it over brushing or rollering. Started painting the trim in, I think it's called Domino by British Paints. So I'm just doing the edging and the fretwork down here just to create an outline in the doll's house, and I think it'll look really good doing it that way. So I've just got a little bit more to go here, as you can see. So I think, yeah, I said I've done 3 coats of the Vivid White on here, and then I'll start, I think I'll put some different colours in the different rooms, create, you know, a feel of what each room's going to be like. I'll add the flooring in, which I'll show you later, and then I can start maybe adding some little curtains. I may even add some wainscoting in here as well, but I'll keep you updated with the process. Before I forget, I'll also show you, I've lightly sprayed all the furniture with the same Vivid White and using the airless spray gun as well. I will probably add some different colours to these and then just paint them a little bit better, but this was just the first coat on the pieces of furniture, and then I'll start adding the detail back on them. We'll do a little bit of painting. I've already done 1 coat of this on the front section. I just need to do a second coat. I'm painting the rooms at the moment in varying colours, and I just thought I'd show you the process in which I go through to paint one of the little rooms to get the best result that you can. What I'm using is a beveled edge paintbrush. I just got this from Bunnings. It's a 25mm beveled edge paintbrush, and I find that's really good for cutting in around the edges of the room. So I've been painting in all the corners, top and bottom, with this beveled edge brush before I use the roller to roll the flat surfaces, and I find that gives a really good result, and it's something that you would do in a normal room anyway, by cutting in first and then rollering. And instead of using a paintbrush on the walls, I'm rolling with a foam roller. That gives a really good result on the walls. It doesn't leave brush marks and it's really smooth. So just thought I'd show you that, go through the process of how I go and paint a wall. Laying the flooring in the doll's house, and I'm up to the second floor. It's been reasonably simple to lay. I'll show you the process that I go through to lay it and what I'm using on the flooring. So I'm using a vinyl floor tile. It's a 300 by 300 millimeter floor tile that I've just got from my local hardware store. So what I do is I've measured up the room that I need a piece for, and using a metal ruler and a Stanley knife, I've measured up where I need to cut in the Stanley knife and the ruler as a guide. I make a score on the back of it, and then I turn it over and score it again on the front, and then it just comes away like that. I had to do a little cut out here, and that's for the doorways. That was probably the hardest bit that I've had to do so far, is just cutting in the doorways. Thankfully this doll's house is fairly straightforward to do, as it's just rectangular shapes. I would hate to have to do something with a lot more fiddly areas. I would also recommend to measure well when you're doing this, because in one of the rooms I was a couple of millimeters short at the end. While you can't see it, just my OCD nature, I'm a bit annoyed that it's only, as you can see here, it's just a couple of mil short. But yeah, it's really easy to lay, as it's just got a sticky backing on it that you just pull off when you're ready to go. As you're putting it on, start at the end, the edge that you're meeting against, and pushing quite hard and firm so that the line that's meeting together, that you're not going to have a gap, and then you just push it in as you go, and then lay it at the end. And then I just got the ruler in the corners and just firmly press them down so they're laid and snug. But there you go, that's the process that I'm going through in doing that. I've got a top floor to do, and then what you'd call the attic space to do. So I'll give you an update once I've completed those. I've completed the flooring in the doll's house, got all 3 layers done, including the little attic area in here. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was a little bit trickier than I thought, especially doing these little cut-in areas inside the door. Last step that I'm doing is creating some wainscoting for the walls down in the lounge room. So I've just found these thin sheets of cork, I don't know, kind of like a paper, quite thin as you can see here. What I've done is I've cut it to fit the wall, and then I've created the battens along the bottom and along the top, and then here with some more of the cork, and then I'll paint it white, and then that will get glued into place here. So that creates like a wainscoting along the bottom of the wall, and then I'll complete it around the entire wall surface here. And then I'm going to do a door out of the same material. I thought I'd give you a bit of a tutorial as to how I'm making my wainscoting in the doll's house. So what I did, I've started with some A4 cork sheets that I got from Kmart. This is in Australia, so if you're in another country, you may have to look online for this. As you can see, they're 1mm thickness sheets, and they're quite thin. So then next step is I cut them in half, but you just need to cut it to the height you want on your doll's house wall. You need to go smaller depending on the ratio of your doll's house. So once I've cut that piece out, then I've cut strips out. I've cut, they're probably about 1.5 centimeter strips. And then I've glued them on with wood glue along the top and the bottom. And then the next step is to put in the batten pieces, which is either end and then I put one here and one here, or depending on the length of your wall, that they're evenly spaced. And I apply wood glue onto those as well, and then I let that dry before proceeding to paint them. So this is my painted version of the wainscoting. It does bend a little bit as you stick it onto the doll's house wall, and that should even out any like bends that you can see in there. I've also created a doorway, same method as the wainscoting. Got 2 layers, and the top layer, these sections have been cut out with scissors, and then I've trimmed each little insert here a couple of mils so that there's an indent in, and then you just stick it all down and paint it. So that's pretty straightforward and easy to do. Adding the tiles to the top of the roof of the doll's house now. And what I've done is I've cut out the size of the tiles that I want out of pieces of square vinyl. I've done all of that now, so I've done all my prep now, so I don't have to keep going back to cut it up. And then I'm just using wood glue on the back of the vinyl. It's already sticky, but I just added wood glue for a bit of extra strength, because I know the stickiness can wear off sometimes and just fall off. So I've added wood glue to the tiles, and then what I'm doing is adding them along the roof. So I've done the first layer here, and then the second layer overlaps the first one. So I'm just adding this one in. So just lining it up over the top there like that, and then just pressing down. And then so there'll be 3 layers overlapping each, as you can see. I'll just show you the front here that I've already completed. And it's got overlapping tiles which have been staggered. So each of the joins are staggered, so they're not on top of each other. I'm now up to updating the doll's house furniture. I've spread out just a old plastic tablecloth so I can paint everything on it without having to worry about dirtying anything. So what I've done is I've painted everything in the vivid white that I was using by Dulux, and then I've gone and just hand painted everything. The paintbrush, I've done about 3 or 4 coats over everything, and now I'm just adding the details such as colouring in the knobs using a gold Sharpie. I've done that on most of the furniture here. I've also added some marble contact on some of them, give it a nice point of difference. And here are some of the other pieces that I've added a bit more detail. This is the kitchen cabinet, so I've painted the front and the top and the range hood in a silver Sharpie, and added the marble contact on the back for the splashback, and use vinyl tiles as I've used here, and use it like a bench top. I've painted the knobs on this one with the gold Sharpie as well, and added the marble splashback up to the top there. I've added some just little stick-on strips of ribbon onto these lamps to give a nice neutral shade, and then I've used the gold Sharpie again, colour the bases, and I've done the same thing with that. I've just used a black Sharpie for the, I think that's a dishwasher maybe, or the dryer, I think actually, sorry. For the table and chairs, I've added the vinyl on here again, just using wood glue to glue it on so it stays on quite well, and I've done that for the tabletop. And for these pieces I've actually used a stain because these were just plain wood, so they were easy to do. I just put some wood stain on the top and then used some furniture wax, just this dark furniture wax here, to polish it up and give it some shine and protection. And then I just painted the base of this one to give it French country look. So that's a basic overview of all the furniture. And it's just really up to your imagination as to what you use to create the little details on these. As I was going for the French country look, I've just kept with neutral tones with the wood and the marble, and added accents of gold. So I'll hopefully pop these all in the doll's house and give you a look very soon. Back to the doll's house, but this time instead of painting, I am creating some linen for the whole house. For the bed, I'm doing a quilt cover here that I've just doubled some fabric over and created a little case out of. I've turned it inside out and then just top stitched around the edge, so it's like a little quilt cover. So this was just some leftover material I had from cushions that I had made previously. After I have finished that, I'm onto creating a little pillow here. I thought that might be quite cute. So I've just filled it with hobby filling. So I've created a little pillowcase, filled it with hobby filling, and now to close that little gap, I'm just going to top stitch around the top of it, and that will close the gap up, and then we have a little pillow there. I'm going to create some little cushions for the lounge chairs, as well as maybe a little mat for the living room. This little mattress that goes in the cot, which I'll recover as well with some cute fabric. Completed my quilt cover and pillow for the main bed. Here I've top stitched around the edge, and that closed that little hole, so you will not know that it was even there. And so I've then started on the little cot mattress that I showed you before. So I covered that in this cute material and made a little bag, you could say, that covered it up and then sewed it in so you can't take it out. And then I made a little pillow. How cute is that? And this was to match in with, I bought some bunting from a local craft store, so I thought that would go really well with that, and I will glue that in the nursery room. I put it all together, but there we are at the moment. Oh, I'm being called. Talk to you soon. I'm all done. So I've done my little cushions for the lounge chairs here. I found an old like twill fabric in my collection of fabric offcut, so that's for the lounge chairs. I finished my cute little cot and the main bed. So guess what, guys, it's moving in time. Let's get to it. So we've got our goodies here, so we will move in the cot first, which I've already decorated. So we'll pop that one into place. I might actually put that little cushion there. And that's the nursery done. I found some cute bunting at my local craft store, as you can see here. So I popped that in, and it just looks like an adorable nursery. Next on the agenda is let's move in the bed into the master bedroom. So put that there, pop that there, and there you go. That's the master done. I was thinking of trying to find a little piece of art there. I still might do that because I just feel like it needs something there. Meanwhile, let's move in the cushions into the lounge area over here. Putting up some art now. I just printed a black and white picture off the net. I don't have colour any on my printer at the moment. So, and I've just attached it to a piece of vinyl that I've used on the house that I had left over, and I've just got some double-sided tape there, and we're going to stick it in place. There we go, got some art there, and then I've put some art down in the lounge room with an Eiffel Tower picture. Thought that would finish it off nicely. So let's get started on the room tour then. So starting from the top, we've got attic space, which I haven't really done much with. I just thought I'd leave it blank. And then we come back down to the bathroom. So it's nice and bright and airy. I've put marble vinyl floor tile down here. And then I put contact inside the shower. We've got the little dryer here. So everything's nice, bright, white and neutral. Going into the master bedroom here, we've got the gorgeous wooden floor tile that I've used. It's a vinyl one again. And the bed and the art that I've used. We've got a little dressing table, and I've put contact on the little side table here and just painted everything gold in the gold Sharpie, as you can see. But oh, I'm really happy with this room. It's turned out really nicely. And then going on, we go to the nursery. So the nursery is got the beautiful green on it on the walls. The little duvet cover that I've made, little cushion. I've just painted this white and added the gold knobs with the Sharpie again. And as I said before, the little bunting that I just got from a craft store. And we got the kitchen. The kitchen's nice and bright and neutral again. I've just added the wood look floor tile to the top of the chairs and the table to give it a more of a French provincial look, which is what my friend was after. This whole doll's house is for my friend actually. She's asked me to do it up. I didn't say already before. And things nice and bright, and I thought could add if she wanted anything else on the walls or anything like that. Bottom floor, this is the room I've added wainscoting and around the entire room. And I've added a nice grey door with some trim on it as well. We've got our couches with my cushions on it. I really loved how these pieces of furniture turned out, that I stained on the top and then painted the base to really look French provincial. This area I kind of didn't do a lot with. I've just did the cupboard here and the cane chairs, as you can see. I probably could have added floor rugs in, and I had a go at making some, but I just didn't think they looked any good, so I just left it out. Guys, that's my fixer-upper style dollhouse makeover. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel below and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think the transformation looked like and what your favorite room. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. See you later.